This is a hat trick
podcast.
Oh, lovely.
Welcome to In the News This Week, the podcast from some of the team who've worked on Have I Got News For You?
I'm Emerald Paston.
I'm Mike Raymond.
I'm Queenie Miller.
And I'm Jack Harris.
We'll be taking you through the big and not so big stories in the news this week when the TV show can't.
Think of it like this. If the main show is Traitors Winner Harry, then we're this season's Linda.
Oh, brutal.
But fair.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
We're back for series 2.
It is really good to be back.
It is very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, we haven't actually, because this is the first episode. We did the episode in between where we had the US election special, but this is the first episode we've done since the last series happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we had Ed Davey on as a guest as well. I mean, not me personally, I wasn't working on the series, but you guys had Ed Davey on.
Genuinely.
Which is quite fun.
We go and brief the guests before the show and just check they're okay. And you go in, and normally the politicians, it can be a little bit frosty, or they can be quite nervous, or quite often they'll have like all their aides with them, and you might get a few grillings like, "Are you going to bring this up? What's going to be said here? You're not going to talk about this." And we knocked on Ed Davies' door, and I was a little bit nervous, and he opened it, and he had because it was the last show before Christmas. We had a Christmas dinner in studio, and he just picked it up and pointed at it, and he went, "Hey, turkey!" And apparently and he was so happy to have turkey, and he said I think his
wife doesn't let him have turkey.
Yeah, this is hot off the press, and sorry Ed, hotting you up. He was stuffing his face with turkey and was really happy.
Do you know, I mean, the saddest thing as well, you think about all the different political leaders, and when Kemi Badenoch has her turkey on Christmas Day, she wouldn't be having sandwiches the next day, would she? Because that's not her thing.
She'd probably have cooked her gammon as well in room temperature, Coke Zero.
Like just not even cooked it, just sort of.
No, just left out for several weeks.
Because that is the hardest way. She always has the hardest dinners because she's really hard.
Oh, this is so much better than talking about politics, just talking about let's guess what famous people eat.
What was the best thing you ate over Christmas?
The best thing I ate, my mum does cook the turkey really well. She does it in her big green egg, which is this strange barbecue thing. And it actually has flavour, the way she cooks it.
Your mum barbecues sorry, what? In an egg, and it's green.
It's this big green egg barbecue, and it makes the turkey taste like smoky.
So we've already had our first bit of misinformation on the podcast by Emerald saying that she's had a tasty turkey, because it's known to be just the worst part of the Christmas dinner.
I don't trust people who don't have turkey for Christmas.
Let's get into round one.
Moving on.
Okay,
suggested
straight away. Shut up, Mike. Happy New Year.
Let's get into round one, where we discuss the big story of the week, which is Elon Musk's attack on ministers across the political spectrum as they go back to work. Who wants to start with the name of someone who Elon had a go at this week? Quite a long list.
Yeah.
Well, I was actually thinking, would it make a fun graphic to have like a Muskometer or just some way of showing all the different faces of people that he's insulted?
Yeah, randomizer.
That week.
Like a sort of perfume, then it gets sprayed and out of the mist a face appears. And
Elon's Musk.
Which is annoying because he actually had brought out his own aftershave, didn't he?
Oh, God.
Called Burnt Hair, which smells great, by the way. I'm wearing it right now. I think the one that probably is the funniest that we would probably look at as a show is going to be the whole Farage-Musk relationship, because that was the kind of thing that threw a nice twist into it that we didn't expect, and that Nigel Farage did not expect either. It was basically sparked by Elon Musk. He's a big fan of Tommy Robinson.
Who isn't?
Interesting. He seemingly was annoyed that Nigel Farage didn't promote Tommy Robinson and said he wouldn't include in the Reform Party. So he tweeted out and said the Reform Party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes, which is incredibly funny.
Yeah.
Because it was only in the 16th of December that Farage wrote that Musk left us in no doubt that he's right behind us, presumably to push him off a cliff. That is where he was standing.
I think he had an interview with the BBC. It might have been with Laura Koonsberg, Farage, and it was I was pretty sure it was on the day that Musk turned against him, and he did this big sycophantic how great Elon is. He said, "Oh, he's a cult hero. He kind of makes us look cool." And I like the thing is, me saying that doesn't quite do justice to how horrendous it is when he says it. It honestly will make you just want to throw up in your mouth and never look at anything political ever again. It's so awful.
He's the sort of person that would describe them as the TikToks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're big on the TikToks.
The only way it could have been worse if he said, it makes us look coolio. This is why it's like win-win for Farage. He said, I'm not going to compromise my principles. It just gives Farage a chance to look good. I think it will play well with voters or his fan base.
There's a reform source that said, ultimately, Nigel Farage is not for sale. Unless you're on Cameo and you've got 76 quid.
Where he's literally for sale.
He's literally for sale.
Yeah.
Or, as it came out today, you're the owner of a gold bullion site and you're willing to pay him like almost £200,000 for 48 hours work, which was another thing that he reported as an MP.
Pretty sure that'll turn out to be fool's gold.
Yeah, other than those things...
It can't be bought.
Yeah.
I was this close to getting Mike a Nigel Farage cameo for Christmas.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
What was going to be the message, Queenie?
Yeah.
I just wanted him to speak from the heart, you know.
Because someone else on the team did get me a Nigel Farage mug for Christmas. I don't know why there's this connection between me and Farage. We barely know each other. We've done a few rallies together. We've been on holiday to Florida together.
Are you his placeholder in Clacton?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'd be a bit surprised when he came back.
It's interesting with the huge donation that was presumably and maybe still is going to be given to the Reform Party by Elon Musk, which is really contested and maybe not legal in British politics. We don't really know at the moment. But it is funny that Farage has essentially fallen for that, hello, I'm an African billionaire and I want to deposit millions into your account scam.
What's your mother's maiden name and your favourite member of the EDL? Because obviously Starmer doesn't really know what to do. Because he's gone for Starmer and he's gone for a few people now. And Farage clearly is a bit uncomfortable with it, but doesn't want to hit back because of the connotations of him being friends with Trump. I had this thing once, this was a few years ago. I hadn't got my hair cut in ages and I was desperate for a haircut.
Where is this going?
So I dashed I dashed out of work and I managed to get into a hairdresser's and I sat down and this lovely guy started cutting my hair. And it was a really good cut and I was halfway through. And at that point, he told me that he also cuts Katie Hopkins' hair.
Whoa. And
what a great person she was and how brave she was. And I would compare this situation to that in that moment, I was like Keir Starmer or Farage in the chair.
Yeah.
And the hairdresser was Musk and the scissors were Trump. And I was like, I need to be nice to you. Because I want a good haircut.
Yeah.
And there's something really dangerous close to my neck.
Yeah, and my principles suddenly don't matter too much anymore.
Like, from that point, whenever you went into a barber's, did you ask for the Katie Hopkins? Is that what you asked? Did you like, this is such a great cut?
It makes sense.
Yeah, it was weird. He did kind of like fold my hair down over my face a bit and asked if I wanted to leave the little moustache. But
a Gabrielle style. Nice.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that.
I wonder if the best person to take Musk on from British politics is someone who we've mentioned, who's equally cringe online and kind of impervious to criticism.
It's a bit harsh on Jack.
Not Jack, but I feel like Ed Davey could be the guy. I feel like if you sat Ed Davey and Elon Musk down, it would be like, you know, when you put two chatbots together and they like go back and forth for eternity.
Although,
they'd just be saying internet slang.
That's a really good idea.
There was an interaction with them.
I didn't see that.
Overnight. And it was funny because Ed Davey, again, he's fairly harmless. Apart from if you're a post office worker, he's fairly harmless,
Or the
right?
sea.
But Elon Musk called him a snivelling cretin on Twitter, which you're like, absolutely, again, catching strays just out of nowhere.
It's mental that he's even got a say. Why is Musk talking about British politics?
But he's been doing it in France and Germany as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And Norway.
He called Olaf Scholz a fool, which, fair enough.
Yeah. To make it sort of a slightly more serious point, the big thing that Musk has been calling for is to have a national inquiry, right? And that is part of the contention, is that he's basically saying Labour not allowing a national inquiry to happen into child sexual exploitation. But as it's been pointed out by a number of people, like I think Victoria Derbyshire listed all of the inquiries that have happened in the last 10 years where they have looked into this, with the major one, which was the Professor Alexis J, which is one everyone's been talking about, where it got released in 2022. And essentially it said, here's 20 recommendations to fix this problem. And they haven't been done. They haven't been taken forward.
Yeah.
And like, she herself has disagreed with the fact that a national inquiry should happen and has said, no, you just make these implementations. That's what needs to happen. And she's kind of said, okay, it's good that people are starting to do this now and look at it properly. And the government are starting to bring in these recommendations because it's been brought to light. But she did say the way that Musk has gone about it isn't great.
Yeah. Well, the problem is when you don't do things properly, and this is fundamentally whether you're Conservative or Labour, Lib Dem, whoever, you're in power. And no matter what you think, generally, there's the right thing to do in these situations. And by not doing those implementations, and it's similar, with the post office, it's similar to what happened with Hillsborough for years, you then leave yourself open to people like Musk coming in and taking advantage of the situation. And it's kind of like infuriating, really, that that's been allowed to happen when, like you say, there's a perfectly straightforward path there to putting in safeguards in place to ensure things like this don't happen again. But people don't want to go the hard yard.
Right.
But ironically, I think as well that in defence of Keir Starmer, not many times you'll hear me say that, he was someone who tried to put safeguards in place, and so was Jess Phillips. So of all the people to go after, it's incredibly stupid.
I thought it was interesting that Badenoch chimed in at the perfect moment to be like, yes, we should do this inquiry, and the blah, blah, blah. The previous Tory government were the people in power at the time when that was happening.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The people complaining about the inaction, one of them, given that the report came out in 2022, guess who's complaining about it?
Rishi Sunak.
Who likes to get involved, still stick their head in? And
Boris Johnson.
Liz Truss.
Liz Truss, who
Oh,
was
wow.
Prime Minister in 2022. So she's the one complaining about it. In her defence.
She didn't have enough time.
She was only Prime Minister for 49 days, which gives it like a 13% chance that the report happened during her tenure in 2022.
You can't be solving scandals when you're creating them. You've got to do one at a time.
Yeah, she was busy just fucking the economy, basically. One of the big things that they asked within this report was for social media companies to clamp down on kind of stuff getting through and making sure that children don't get to see stuff that they shouldn't do. Obviously, that Elon Musk has taken that action on, hasn't he? I mean, with Twitter, which is now known to be one of the safest places online.
Yeah.
But Meta now.
Mark Zuckerberg, in Meta, have now decided that also, I think they think it's a good thing to just get rid of fact checkers.
So Nick Clegg is out of Meta, and also Sheryl Sandberg, I think, isn't on the board now.
When I first read the Nick Clegg leaves Facebook thing, I forgot that he was part of the board in the job. I thought it was just really big headline about him.
Oh, like he deleted his Facebook account.
Going to Blue Sky.
Like, probably guys, sorry, God, I just need to. It's just not the same space anymore.
Nick Clegg.
I guess it's interesting. Like Nick Clegg, probably quite good in negotiations. Like, I guess he's done some work with speaking with world leaders or something. But who they have brought in onto the board now is Dana White, the head of the UFC. So it's going to be very much more like someone disagrees with him, he challenges them to jump in the octagon with them. That's how all politics should go, really.
Well, that's how it's all going to go. Also, can I just call you up on the fact you said Nick Clegg's good at negotiation? Nick Clegg.
Listen, I was
You're going to get crucified, mate.
Nick Clegg went into government with the Conservatives with 3 key things he wanted and came out having done none of them. And in fact, in some cases, having done the opposite of them. And went, yeah, we did good.
I take it back. Dana White is an improvement in all terms of political nous and negotiations.
Sorry, Jack. I just feel like we've gone away from what this podcast is supposed to be about, which is guessing what people have for Christmas dinner.
Yeah, that's true.
Welcome back to In the News this week. It's time now for round 2, where I'll ask you to bring a story from the past week that you think would be perfect for round 2 of the TV show. Jack, let's start with you. What story have you got for us this week?
My story is about a mysterious plate of peeled bananas.
Oh.
Is this just your lunch?
Jack's just lost some bananas.
Sounds like the next Richard Osman book.
No, it's about a plate of bananas in Nottinghamshire, right? So basically, what happens is this plate of peeled bananas keeps appearing on the corner of a Nottinghamshire street once a month. 15 to 20 bananas on a plate, and they reckon it's been going on for about 2 years, but no one knows why. And suddenly it's become a news story. Now, I particularly like this. I feel like it's have I got news for you? Because it's the sort of thing that Paul would get very pissed off about quite quickly. Because it's kind of a non-story story. There's a couple of theories as to why this plate of bananas is there. One person said it could be feeding local wildlife. Someone's there. But that theory was dismissed quite quickly because no one has seen a peck taken out of them. That's the exact quote. Someone said it could be a potential religious offering. because the street corner is opposite a church. I don't know who they're offering it to. The priest? He's not very hungry, though. Or someone said maybe they're trying to poison animals, which was my favourite.
What, they're putting stuff in the bananas?
I guess so. There was no explanation. It was one of the residents said, I hope they're not trying to poison animals.
Oh my God, that's a guilty conscience.
I'm really happy you've kept us on brand of food stories. The new direction of this podcast is making me really happy.
I feel like, you know how in the US they had all those drone sightings and it was a big mystery? I think this is the British version of that.
I also, like, The Guardian got involved, because I think it was originally reported on the BBC, and then The Guardian got involved, and they flexed their investigative journalism muscles by reporting that when they visited, the only remaining evidence was 15 bananas discarded in the hedgerow, but the plate had been removed.
Oh my God. Do you know what? The Guardian investigative journalism has really gone downhill. They did a story before Christmas and we didn't have time to cover it in the show. But there's this thing about the most expensive mince pie in the country, and this bakery that does them. And the Guardian sent a journalist up there. And the article, I can't believe they published it, but this journalist basically goes up there and goes, I've come to try the most expensive mince pies. But I came up on the day and my train from London took too long. So by the time I got there, they sold out. So I just walked around for a bit. And then I managed to find someone who'd actually tried one.
No way.
And they told me they're delicious. And then and that is genuinely the article. Wow. And then the very same day on the Times website, the Times had a proper article about it where their journalist had tried one and had a picture of them talking to the bakery owner. It was just really funny.
Can I give you some more of their fantastic investigative work, right?
I'd say no, but I know you're going to anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to say anyway, right? They reported that one resident, Claire Short, her name was, she left a laminated sign which saying, please, respectfully, no more bananas, ! But she then took it down, telling The Guardian that they didn't want to make it like a feud. Could cause a split, basically.
Oh, come
very
on.
good.
Is that your joke or the Guardian's?
Unfortunately, it's something I came up with. But I would say my favourite detail in the reporting is that one woman who was peering out her window a few doors down said, "What bananas?"
Oh my
So
God.
they can't be that prominent if someone who lives 2 doors down has no idea about these bananas. But
They were definitely trying to hit a word count.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
And this woman said nothing.
I genuinely would love to see that story in the show because, like you said, I'd love to see Paul dismantle it for the ridiculousness that it is.
Emerald, which story have you brought?
Well, you'll be pleased to know I'm not staying in the past with the old houses, the usual stories that I do, but I'm moving into the present. This story is about a video game. Yeah. New season, new me. This video game isn't even released yet. The Guardian named it as a game to look forward to in 2025. It's releasing on Valentine's Day this year.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah. Because it's a game called Date Everything. And it's a game where you can date household appliances. There's 100 dateable...
Do you know, guys, it's been great. It's been great.
Isn't this like a Channel 5 documentary?
It feels that way in many ways.
The man who married his toaster.
Yeah.
One review said, get ready to smooch 100 household appliances.
I'm in. This sounds excellent.
They include a smoke alarm, a cabinet, a laundry basket. It describes itself as a sandbox dating simulator, which is a bit confusing because it doesn't look like a sandbox is one of the items you can actually date in it. You, the player in the game, receive some VR glasses called the Date Viators, which I actually think that AV Daters would have been a better name, but anyway. When you put them on, they transform the household items into dateable beings, and you can chat them up and
so it's in your
try
house,
to date them.
Your own objects.
It's not actually in your own house. It's in like the character's house in the game.
Okay.
But you look at a dishwasher and then it transforms into some kind of
into like a sexy dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
Jack's had that dream.
I'm going to be honest with you. The first time I got a funny feeling in my stomach was with the feather duster from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh my God.
So
I was going to ask which household items would you most like to date, but
I like the idea of smoke detector. It's hot.
I go for a plug socket because then when I kiss it, it'll be the last thing I ever happens to me, and I won't have to exist in a world where people play a computer game where they date household objects.
Do you want to guess what sorts of vibes the different objects have in the game?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I've got 3 examples. So what kind of data do you think the fireplace is?
Oh, fiery.
Romantic.
Quick.
But also bit of a money drainer, maybe like a gold digger, very expensive to date. Because you turn it on and it costs you a lot of money.
Okay, you're all wrong. It's a pickup line spouting frat boy. That's the fireplace.
I'll see that.
Oh,
The toaster? What sort of character do you think the toaster is?
really jumpy.
Nice.
Thank you.
Really, yeah.
Very good.
You spend too long with it, you get burnt.
Nice.
Can't take a bath with it.
That's for pretty much all of these items.
Yeah.
I know, don't
Do
tell
not
me.
take into bath.
You guys aren't thinking sexy enough. The toaster is a cute girl with a guitar in the shape of a bread slice.
Sorry, toaster in the bath wasn't sexy enough.
That's not sexy.
That's Queenie's ideal date.
Finally, a cupboard.
Keir Starmer.
Pretty solid, traditional. Wouldn't try and sleep with you until at least the 8th date.
Comes with a lot of baggage, though.
Way.
The cupboard is a stylish Italian.
No.
So yeah, I think a lot of the characters don't really match up to the
No.
household items. I think you guys have much better suggestions.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying Mike's unwillingness to get on board with this.
This is a cry for help, is what this is, whoever's designed this game.
You guys are very wrong because the creator said our mantra was we want to make something where you wouldn't be embarrassed if anybody walked in on you playing it.
Aw.
You wouldn't be embarrassed if someone walked in and you were trying to chat up a toaster. Oh, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm trying to cop off with the oven, mate. Don't worry about me. Yeah, no, nothing to be embarrassed about here.
Yeah.
And this is JD Vance's ultimate game, man. Isn't it?
Oh yes, with the couch.
Oh, we're not going to see anything of him beyond Valentine's Day, are we?
Is he still
That's
the
it.
vice president? Or is that Musk at this point? What? I forgot about him completely.
Officially, he still is.
We won't need to worry about that because he'll be.
We literally won't see him.
Thank you very much, Emerald. Mike, what story do you think would be perfect for round 2?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I was captivated by a headline. It was in the Daily Mail, and the headline is, Pope Francis calls out nuns. And it's about Pope Francis' beef with nuns. I don't think you can guess why Pope Francis would call out a nun.
Singing in the Alps too much. I don't know.
That's really, do you know what? That's probably the nicest thing anyone said today.
I was just going to say that Pope Francis has been one of my goats of 2024. I think
He's a
been
mad bastard.
he's been moving crazy. He's been doing
Yeah.
I
crazy
don't
stuff.
think anyone has said goats of 2024 or moving crazy.
I'm making
Pope.
shit up.
Ed Davey definitely has. Ed Davey definitely has.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. fair enough.
I've absorbed some of his energy since the show he was on.
What is it, Mike?
No, he had an audience with some nuns, and it was actually broadcast on, I believe, Catholic TV, which hilariously exists.
Do you not watch it? That's my go-to.
No, my subscription lapsed. Catholic joke, you know. Pope Francis calls out nuns. He was having this audience with them, and he told them, sometimes in my life, I've met nuns with a vinegar face, and that's not friendly. That's not something that helps to attract people. Vinegar is nasty, and nuns with a vinegar face, let's not even talk about it. He's basically gone in and told his bunch of nuns, cheer up, love.
Smile, dear.
It's the white van man of the Vatican.
He does
He has
drive
a
a
white
white van.
He's got the ultimate transit, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's like stopping around, cheer up, love, might never happen.
Full 360
360
degree
white
view
van.
for the
Yeah.
birds.
Yeah. Well, I think he's been teching into that by watching maybe some Jim Davidson stand-up. Because he wasn't done there.
No.
He added, and please, no more gossip amongst you. None. To ask this of a woman is heroic. But come on, no more gossip.
I take back what I said at the start about
Queenie, your hero.
Queenie, Uno reversed that. The next day, it's been revealed that he's promoted the first nun to be the head prefect of the Vatican, which a role in all its hundreds of years no woman has ever occupied. What? He's moving mad.
That's what I said. Yeah.
He's moving mad.
Okay, I take back that I took it back. He's been crazy this year. He's just doing whatever he wants.
The head prefect. What's the head prefect do?
I don't like.
Make sure all the nuns queue up for lunch.
Yeah,
I wasn't allowed to be prefect because I had half my head shaved and I've not gone over it.
I wasn't allowed to be a prefect either.
Oh,
I was a house captain, guys, so
It makes so much sense.
Jack, what's your silence?
Jack was
What's your
homeschooled.
silence?
Jack, were you a prefect?
No, I was the deputy head of the school, but that's...
Oh yeah, because you're a teacher.
Not the head of the school. Didn't matter. Wasn't head boy. It's totally cool. I'm over it. I'm not fussed about it.
Have you got anything more on that story, Mike?
None.
Oh.
No, it doesn't. None. I haven't. Nothing else to add.
Oh, wow. The Pope moving crazy, Mike moving crazy.
And finally, it's time for round 3 of the podcast, the brand new Missing Words round.
Ooh.
I'm going to read some headlines from the
Exciting.
news this week, and all you need to do is fill in the missing words. Like the show.
Well, we do actually play this though, don't we?
Yes.
So people wouldn't know this, but on the day we record the show, we do a rehearsal with whoever's hosting, and we stand in as the guests because they don't come till later. They don't know what's going to be in the show. And we get to go through and play missing words. I know you probably all agree it's probably the most fun bit of the day, trying to get a funny missing word. And if you can make the person who's hosting laugh, it's quite nice.
Have you ever done that, Mike?
No, it's not important. It's not important.
Are we ready?
So ready.
Okay. World chess number 1 quits tournament after refusing to what?
Remove his plate of bananas.
Admit that he's a nerd.
After putting VR glasses on and falling in love with his porn.
After getting distracted by a sexy toaster.
Close. World chess number 1 quits tournament after refusing to change genes.
I did see this.
Yeah, Magnus
Oh.
Carlsen says he's too old at this point to care too much about appealing the decision and will probably head off somewhere where the weather is a bit nicer.
Is it that the jeans had like ways to cheat listed on them? What's wrong with
No,
wearing
he
jeans?
just broke dress code regulations. They have to be a bit fancier.
Oh.
They did actually let him back in, though, eventually, didn't they? They had conceded and allowed him to come back in. They went
Yeah.
back on their jeans thing.
Mm.
It's kind of like telling Beyonce she can't come and do a concert in the chess world.
What, because she's wearing jeans?
Magnus Carlsen, he is the Beyonce of chess.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Jack. US city tells residents to stop sticking what on its statues?
Confederate soldiers?
Donald Trump stickers.
Oh, close. US city tells residents to stop sticking googly eyes on its statues. This is a story from Bend in Oregon, which is a real place. Bend has spent $1,500 on removing googly eyes from 7 of the 8 sculptures impacted. I really liked one Facebook user's reply, which was, it would cost $0 to leave them on.
That's a really good point.
It feels like it's going to have the Barbra Streisand effect, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now that it's been reported on,
Everyone's
there
going to
can
do
be
it.
so many more googly eyes.
Is it actually the work of street artist Blinksy?
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
That is.
I'm ill if that's any consolation.
That's like what I do on my
No,
best day.
You're sick.
You're
I'm
sick.
sick.
And the only cure is more Banksy jokes.
Yeah. More punning.
Congregations are ending sermons with what, as more and more Britons do not know religious etiquette?
Is it orgy? Is it telling nuns that they shouldn't be so vinegary?
Yeah, and to stop gossiping. What were the nuns gossiping about? That's what I want to know.
Clearly they're gossiping about the Pope, and he didn't like it.
It's like, stop talking
Yeah.
about me.
What are the Gospels but gossip? You know?
Yeah.
The Gospels are gossip.
Oh.
That whole book is like, he did what?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. And then Jesus, he like took one fish and he turned it for like 500 people. It was crazy. And then, oh my God, you should have seen what he'd done with the water. It was mental.
Stop
He
exaggerating,
literally
Sharon.
raised from the dead.
And like Thomas, he was like,
Literally?
I don't believe you. And honestly, you should have seen him when he saw his hands. It was
Egg on his
unbelievable.
face.
Congregations are ending sermons with applause rather than by saying amen, as more and more
Aw.
Britons do not know religious etiquette. One comment was made by a priest that said, in my last parish, the congregation took to applauding the organist after a service of the Holy Communion, and the organist gave them a stern telling off.
Wow.
I quite like that, like, it turns out people are quite nice.
Yeah.
And that's like, nah, you don't give any appreciation to the organist.
Yeah.
I was laughing because I was just thinking of people going, in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
That was that.
Well done, Queenie.
That was
That
really
was great.
fun.
Thanks.
Oh, why are we clapping? What the?
We should be saying amen.
Thank you for listening to In the News this week.
For updates on the show, make sure you're following Have I Got News For You on Instagram, the TikToks, and Twitter. And we might even post a missing word for you guys to get involved in next week as well.
You can also get in touch with us by emailing podcasts@hattrick.com. That's hattrick with 2 T's.
Make sure you're followed or subscribed to the podcast wherever you're listening to it now, and we'll see you here for next week's episode. Take it away, Jack.
First time this series. Bye!
Bye.
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 In the News this week is presented by Jack Harris, Queenie Miller, Emerald Paston, and Mike Raymond. The producer is Diggory Waite. The engineer is John Wakefield. The executive producer is Claire Broughton, and the music is by Big George. In the News This Week is a Hat Trick podcast.